It moved on, and Caitlin Clark never flinched. No tweets fired back, no interviews chasing the noise, no acknowledgement of Stephen A., no response to Patrick Bet-David. She stayed quiet, stayed locked in, talked only about basketball, and somehow that calm made everything unravel around her even louder. Because humility backed by results doesn't ask for permission, it takes space. Behind closed doors, owners started admitting something they never wanted to say out loud. We need her. And need hits different than want. Want can be replaced. Need comes with leverage. That realization shifted the entire gravity of the league. Just another rookie, another star in a shared spotlight, another piece of balanced growth. That illusion shattered fast. Early data told an uncomfortable story. Heavily promoted games spiked engagement but couldn't hold viewers, merch buzz didn't convert, excitement faded quickly. But when Caitlin Clark appeared, people didn't just click, they stayed. Executives tried to downplay it. College hype fades. Curiosity cools. Until NBC happened. What was supposed to be a harmless crossover turned into a stress test the system wasn't ready for. Clark didn't chase attention, didn't perform for the moment, didn't posture. She dissected the game like she belonged on that stage. And millions locked in instantly. Inside NBC, producers noticed something chilling. Viewership didn't dip during her segment, it rose. When she spoke, audiences stayed. When she stopped, they left. Across platforms, the same pattern repeated. That's when the truth became impossible to ignore. Not all attention is equal, and not every star holds power. Caitlin Clark didn't just draw eyes. She controlled them. Viewership didn't dip during her segment. It rose. When she spoke, audiences stayed. When she stopped, they left. Across platforms, the pattern repeated with brutal consistency. That's when the truth became impossible to ignore. Not all attention is equal. Not every
that comes with an NBA national broadcast. So he loved every bit of what Caitlin Clark did and what she brought to the broadcast. Now, this is where he started talking a little bit about having Caitlin Clark back more than that March 29th announcement. So it says NBC Sports is planning to bring Clark back later this season. Cordella confirmed that she is scheduled to appear as an analyst for the Knicks versus Thunder on March 29th. As we know, he also added that he hopes to see more of Clark moving forward, signaling that the door is open for additional appearances. While no expanded role has been formally announced, the comment suggested genuine interest rather than casual praise. So, hey man, I don't know. We might see Caitlin working that booth. That'd be dope though, man. That'd be dope. Of course, with everything going on with the WNBA, we don't even know.
Clips that included her spread faster, held attention longer, and reached audiences far outside traditional basketball spaces. That was the moment someone inside the organization finally voiced what no one wanted documented. She was the attraction. That realization didn't stay quiet, it escaped. And once it reached league headquarters, anxiety set in. Because the figures from that NBC appearance weren't merely impressive, they were disruptive. Carefully built projections collapsed in one night. Sponsors took notice. Broadcast partners took notice. Team owners took notice. One owner, according to several accounts, demanded a direct comparison before NBC and after NBC, and the contrast was jarring. The growth wasn't gradual, it was explosive. Audience numbers skyrocketed. Financial outlooks surged. Merchandise interest spiked. And tied to every surge was the same name over and over, Caitlin Clark. From that point on, presentations stopped mattering. In a closed-door discussion never meant to surface, the owner put it bluntly. Revenue didn't rise evenly, it multiplied. That word changing hands was catastrophic, because multiplied signals imbalance. It suggests a missing driver. It implies one individual carrying weight others are not. And just like that, Angel Reese slipped out of the discussion. Not due to lack of ability, not due to absence of support, but because the metrics didn't move with her. That kind of exclusion doesn't need insults, it needs evidence. Reporters soon caught on. Quiet confirmations, anonymous acknowledgments, enough smoke to verify the fire. Then Stephen A. Smith stepped in, not theorizing or guessing. He saw the figures. He reviewed the NBC data. He studied the revenue trends. That's why his delivery was measured, because calm signals confidence. On air, he didn't diminish Angel Reese. He didn't question her talent or take personal shots. He contrasted influence. He contrasted reach. He contrasted financial impact. And then he delivered the line that ended the argument. This wasn't close. That wasn't opinion, it was judgment. When Stephen A. says something isn't close, viewers understand the implication. Angel Reese fell silent, and in moments like this, silence cuts deep. But the narrative didn't end there, because Patrick Bet-David identified something more unsettling. Where Stephen A. framed it as competitive reality, Patrick framed it as a business breakdown, and he asked the question the league refused to say out loud.
Before she ever came along, there were a lot of outstanding basketball players who happened to be black females that was doing their thing on the WNBA level. And they never got this kind of shine. This girl, the Golden Goose, comes along and she wreaks havoc. She's the Rookie of the Year. She's 4th in the league in MVP voting. 4th in the league, her rookie year.
Wow.
Outstanding.
Retires. Can you pull up this quote? She said, by the time she retires, she will be the MJ of, go to Jamil Hill. Type in Jamil Hill. Yeah. She says, by the time she retires, Jamil Hill has made a bold prediction that Angel Reese will become the MJ of the WNBA by the time she retires. That's what she said. Okay? Okay. Let me continue.
Okay.
All right.
Jamil
So
Hill.
now.
Okay.
The structure she believed in didn't fail her out of malice. It failed her because it was evolving on the fly. The moment reliance became obvious, allegiance lost its value. Presentations stopped counting. Only force mattered. And that force had shifted decisively toward Caitlin Clark. Behind closed doors, no one said Angel Reese came up short. That would suggest an even playing field. Instead, they redesigned tomorrow with her quietly removed from it. Schedules were adjusted. Marketing focus was redirected. Media plans subtly reworked. When fresh deals were floated, Clark's name surfaced first, sometimes alone. That's what undeniable influence looks like. No announcements. No explanations. Just omission. And that was the real message Patrick Bet-David was pointing to. When a single athlete becomes the financial engine, everyone else becomes a variable, not unimportant, but expendable. The league never prepared for that outcome because leagues don't expect one figure to outweigh the framework itself, until reality proves otherwise. Now the same unease hangs over every discussion. If Clark commands attention, she dictates revenue. If she dictates revenue, she holds leverage. And once leverage shifts, the league isn't steering anymore. It's responding. Angel Reese didn't lose a personal battle, she lost the moment. She placed faith in a model built on shared equilibrium. Caitlin Clark revealed a model sustained by imbalance. That's why the quiet around Angel echoes so loudly. That's why strategy meetings feel altered. And that's why, whether acknowledged or not, the league has passed a point of no return. From here on out, every move answers the same unspoken question first. What does this mean for Caitlin Clark? Because once the money aligns with one name, authority inevitably follows.
Caitlin and that class by not being prepared for it, and the fact that so many journalists across the country, institutions failed to cover this league, like there's just so many institutionalized failings that now the league is attempting to hurdle over.
Yeah. What do you think is the biggest thing, just as far as the product on the floor? Because a lot of people talk about physicality. A lot of people talk about the referees. I actually did a deep dive in one of my episodes talking about like who the referees are calling to, essentially, and where the W gets their referees. But as far as the product, because at the end of the day, fans are not going to stick around if it's not a good product, period.
Right.
Like, they have to be there for the basketball, and I think a lot of casual fans got pulled into the W because Caitlin had such a different game that was, like, just very, very exciting to watch, and she's an incredible player. So they're there. Now they're seeing this product. They're like, oh, this is cool. There's other players that I'm, like, getting super invested in. But a lot of people have called out, like, physicality, referees. Have you heard anything from players, owners, like any of your sources about them actively working on improving the product?
Yeah, I mean, officiating, like, I know everyone thinks like this is all about Caitlyn and the way Caitlyn is officiated. Across the league, coaches, like, this has been an issue. Like, go back.
We saw Coach Cheryl Reeve crash out.
Cheryl Reeve is the crash out queen.
Over the officiating. Yeah, it was like one of the best crash outs ever.
But, like, go back to, God, like Candace's rookie year. There's a game she gets laid out, like, and multiple. Like, go back to all of these players. It's crazy what they all went through. And so obviously there are more eyes on the league. So there's the way that the physicality around Caitlyn was obviously layered in the sense of, like, she's this phenom coming into the league, like, everyone's talking about her. So we've got all these vets who, again, it's the same when Candace came into the league, when Diana, when there's a generational player that comes into the league, and it's in men's sports too, the messaging is, okay, this is our league, like, well.
The noise faded, and Caitlin Clark never reacted. No social media shots, no media soundbites, no acknowledgement of Stephen A., no reply to Patrick Bet-David. She stayed composed, stayed focused, spoke only about the game, and that restraint somehow amplified everything collapsing around her. Because quiet confidence paired with proof doesn't seek approval, it claims territory. Privately, team owners began confessing what they'd resisted admitting: they depended on her. And dependence is different than preference. Preferences can shift. Dependence creates power. That realization altered the league's center of mass. Angel Reese wasn't removed, wasn't attacked, wasn't openly pushed aside. She simply stopped being necessary. And in elite sports, that's the ending that comes without ceremony. By month's end, league messaging had fully pivoted. The spotlight tightened. Side-by-side debates vanished. The language of parody disappeared. A direction had been chosen. This wasn't spite. It wasn't personal. It was clarity. One NBC appearance exposed who truly commands attention when interest isn't manufactured. Caitlin Clark didn't pursue milestones to prove a point. She surpassed them because she was prepared when opportunity arrived. Angel Reese didn't come up short. Nobody wants to admit this part, but the story didn't begin with Caitlin Clark. It began with Angel Reese. Before the season settled. Before ratings meant anything. Before revenue charts mattered. Angel Reese was the loudest presence in the room. Cameras followed her. Debates revolved around her. Social media fed off her confidence, her defiance, her willingness to lean into the noise. And the league embraced it, because visibility sells, controversy sells, confidence sells. Or at least, that's what they believed. For a moment, it felt like she was the center of the universe. But behind closed doors, attention wasn't the metric that mattered. Money was, and money doesn't care who talks the loudest. It cares who makes people stay. That's where Caitlin Clark quietly changed everything. At first, she wasn't supposed to disrupt the plan. Just another rookie. Another star in a shared spotlight. Another piece of balanced growth. The illusion shattered fast. Early data told an uncomfortable story. Heavily promoted games spiked curiosity but couldn't hold viewers. Merch buzz didn't convert. Engagement flared, then faded, but when Caitlin Clark appeared, people didn't just click, they stayed. Executives tried to rationalize it. College hype fades. Curiosity cools. Give it time. Then NBC happened. What was supposed to be a harmless crossover turned into a stress test the system wasn't prepared for. Clark didn't chase attention. Didn't perform for the moment. Didn't posture. She dissected the game like she belonged there, because she did, and millions locked in. Inside NBC, producers noticed something unsettling. Viewership didn't dip during her segment. It rose. When she spoke, audiences stayed. When she stopped, they left. Across platforms, the pattern repeated with brutal consistency. That's when the truth became impossible to ignore. Not all attention is equal. Not every star holds power. Caitlin Clark didn't just draw eyes, she controlled them.